looking for you. Scooby, Scooby Doo, where are you? All the stars are here, waiting for you. Couldn't have a show without you. Scooby, Scooby Doo, Scooby, Scooby Doo.
So, last but not least, we have the last one of the Red Shaggy trilogy. If the title alone doesn't tell you what this movie's gonna be like, you're in trouble. Scooby Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Thanks. I hate it.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now.
Dracula sends his two comic relief minions, the Hunch Bunch, to transform Shaggy into a werewolf and then bring him, Scooby, Scrappy, and his unbelievably irrelevant girlfriend, some girl named Googie, to Transylvania. Why? Because they need a werewolf in their annual monster race, and they chose Shaggy because the because the Great Prophecy predicts so, because apparently he's a really good racer, as established in the beginning scene. Shaggy just wants to be normal and go home, but the monsters won't let him leave. To convince him to join, Dracula lies to the gang into thinking that if Shaggy wins, he will return to his original self and they can go back to their normal lives. From here on, the rest of the movie is just Shaggy and Scooby trying to win the race, Googie and Scrappy cheering them on and occasionally saving them, and Dracula, the Hunch Bunch, and the other monsters trying to screw them over, regardless of the rules.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
When it comes to characters, this movie goes way overboard with them and padding out the story. Remember how with Boo Brothers they contribute almost nothing to the story? Now imagine that we have a cast of characters as big or bigger than either Boo Brothers or Ghoul School, except literally 90 of everyone are just filler characters, all adding to the needlessly tedious length of the film. I'm not joking, this is actually the longest running Scooby-Doo movie ever made, because 80% of it is just filler, and there are tons of great examples to prove it. First is when Shaggy and company get captured and wake up inside Dracula's castle. Shaggy's understandably skeptical to it, but then it literally goes on for like 5 minutes of the monsters just poking fun at each other and making stupid comedy that goes nowhere. Do we really need to see this? Second, Shaggy and co try to escape the castle but accidentally stumble into the main hall where all the monsters are having a dance party. Dracula and his hot as hell wife Vanapyra invite them to dance, which they then do for another 3 minutes listening to Discount Louis Armstrong. I'm not kidding, that's what it sounds like.
Party time for ghosts and spooks, vampires, witches, ghostly kooks. That whole gang all go gazooks, doing the werewolf. Oh God, no!
She's on! Never been something that much here to destroy the monsters and all you hold dear. I will end your cruel necromancy.
Actually, we were just dancing.
Third, Dracula and the oh-so-hilarious Hunch Bunch keep trying to cheat Shaggy and Scooby out of winning the race, even after they win. Dude, by your own stupid unanswered rules, this stupid race wouldn't even be happening without him. Just be thankful he even agreed to it in the first place. I mean, now that I think about it, I guess his malice isn't completely unjust. I mean, his wife hits on... Vanapyra hits on Shaggy in just about every second she soaks up screen time. So, yeah. I could go on, but let's move on.
Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver.
We start off at Shaggy's house, and then go to the mall, and then a movie theater. Then the gang gets taken to Transylvania at the end of Act 1. After that, the whole rest of the world is just cut off completely, until an airplane ex machina saves the gang for no rhyme or reason other than to finally answer our prayers. Like with the other two, this movie honestly might as well just take place in another dimension, which, in regards to the last movie, would be a plausible explanation for why Dracula went from purple skin to green, why the Ghoul Girls and Calloway boys never get mentioned, and why the animation looks like pure trash. I let the so-and-so animation of Hanna-Barbera's last two Scooby-Doo movies slide because, well, yeah, they're all three of the editions of the Red Shaggy trilogy are just TV specials. However, here you can really tell they just don't care. I praised Ghoul School for having more vibrant colors, allowing for more creative backgrounds and visuals, but in Reluctant Werewolf, there's just too much navy blue before Shaggy gets kidnapped, and way too much toxic baby green after Shaggy gets kidnapped. This movie is so incompetent, they somehow managed to mix two things Ghoul School prevailed in where Boo Brothers failed, and the result was unbelievably unpleasant. Speaking of recycling elements from previous installments,
You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver.
it's basically the same thing I said about Ghoul School with music, to be honest. Nothing really to add here, so let's just skip it.
You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back.
I tried to give this movie a chance. Really, I did. I tried to enjoy it as much as I could, but even viewing it as a guilty pleasure hurts kind of because it drags itself on for so long. The jokes stop being funny halfway through, the settings, while colorful, are shockingly stale, the music's forgettable, the characters are annoyingly pointless, Shaggy's werewolf design looks like a DeviantArt OC, and the story has more holes than a Pizza Hut. Is there anything to like from this movie? Well, I guess the overall weirdness and sheer stupidity of it makes it worth the watch. Don't get me wrong, it's terrible, but that's what makes this movie so unforgettable to me. The fact that it doesn't care to such a low degree is what gives it a personality that I'd love to rewatch and rip on with friends if given the chance. And that's how I see the Red Shaggy trilogy as a whole. It was forgotten in Scooby-Doo history for its strange plots and stranger character things, but to me, their weirdness is what makes them stand out the most. They represent a time when the characters were taken in such a radically weird direction in an attempt to add a new layer of fun and hilarity to an already successful cartoon. Even though this path will most likely never return, I personally believe that the Red Shaggy trilogy deserves to be acknowledged and explored by old and new Scooby-Doo fans, whether it's for historical research or just nostalgic entertainment. And Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf gets the dishonorable rating of -4 out of 10. Watch what you want, even if it's this movie, but I'd only recommend it for nostalgic purposes, a Scooby-Doo movie marathon, or if you just want something to make fun of. So yeah, that was the Red Shaggy trilogy. I hope you enjoyed it, and happy Halloween, everyone.